Okay, guys, my name is Desmond, and I welcome you to my lesson for today. Good people, in case if you missed today's lesson, just be aware that it is recorded and it's going to be posted on my YouTube channel. So, just make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that every time when I upload a new lesson, you are notified and able to catch up. So, good people, are you guys able to see over there? Is it clear for everyone? Can just someone unmute their mic and comment if all is clear?
My side is clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's clear.
Yes.
Okay, 100%. So, did you also see that question paper that my admin sent in the group? Did you all get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So, in today's lesson, I just want to make it a bit different from the previous lessons that we had, in a sense that I'll be moving at a faster pace, but at the same time, you still should be able to understand exactly what I'll be doing. So I just want to give you guys a feel of how I would run with this question if I was in exam room. So without any waste of time, I'm just going to quickly read through the given statement. So guys, question number 3 is what we'll be looking at in today's lesson, and the statement is given followed by the diagram from there, followed by the questions. So I'm just going to quickly read through the given statement. So let's see. It reads as follows. In the diagram, A, which has got the coordinates of -2 and 2. Remember, A is a point and -2 and 2 are the coordinates. And most importantly, they fall in the second quadrant. So that makes sense. Let's see. B has got the coordinates 6 and 5. Let's see. Where is B? There's B. X is 6, Y is 5. Okay. Let's continue. C has got the coordinates 0 and -1. So remember, C is a point, 0 is X, -3 is Y. And most importantly, guys, this point, it means it lies there right on the Y-axis, because on the Y-axis, the X value is 0. And the Y value, obviously, it's a negative value because it's on this side of the origin. So, D has got the coordinates of X and Y. So remember, D is a point, therefore it means the coordinates are X and Y. Most importantly, guys, you should be aware at this stage that this point falls in quadrant number 3. What do you know about quadrant number 3? You do know very well that in quadrant number 3, you've got the negative X values and you've got the negative Y values. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that at all times when you're given the points, you are able to analyze those points. So the statement says all of these points are the vertices of a quadrilateral having AD parallel to BC. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So they are saying all of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, are the vertices. Remember, the word vertices means corners. So are the vertices of a quadrilateral. So a quadrilateral, what? Guys, a quadrilateral. Listen very carefully. A quadrilateral having AD being parallel to BC. So let's see, there we've got AD parallel to BC. So this is how they represent it, guys. So you know, in capital letters, it means a length. Which length? The length of A to D. Where is A? There is A. Where is D? there is D. So the length of AD is parallel to the length of BC. Where is BC? So that means these two lines are parallel to each other. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. You can also see over there that they used those arrows. So do not assume that these two lines are therefore parallel, unless if they tell you that they are parallel, and again, maybe if they say proof that these two lines are parallel to each other, then you might need to perform some special calculations over there. So for now, just be aware that these two lines are parallel to each other. Let's continue. BA, where is BA? Let's see. Okay, there is B, there is A. What about BA examiner? So BA produced S and X intercept at E. So can you hear how they use these words, guys? So they are saying BA produced has an x-intercept at E. So in short, they are saying, let's say you have the x-axis, the Cartesian plane, and then you have something similar to that. Let's say this is A, this is B, C, D. So when they say something being produced, it's more like let's say they say AB being produced. That simply means you extend it along that same line. So you just produce it, then can you see it's been extended. So AB produced has an x-intercept at a point which we can call, let me see, I see Renelo has attended, we can call that a point R. So that is what is meant by a line being produced. So examiner can use the word produced or extended. So that means the gradient of that line is the same, because it is the same line, but it is just being extended. I hope it makes sense, guys. And most importantly, it cuts the x-axis, which means if we had to write the coordinates of D, we already know there is 0. X is unknown, but it is y, which is 0. So you just need to be aware of that. Let's continue, guys. BD and AC intersect at M. Let's see, where is BD? There is BD, okay? And AC, where's AC? There's AC. What about those, Mr. Examiner? Intersect at M. Where is M? Then that means even though Shriyas, that M is written somewhere there, but the point that they are talking about is that one, because this is the point of intersection of these two lines. So every time when they talk about point M, you need to know that they are referring to that point of intersection of these lines. So that means what you know about that point is that the x value of M must be negative, again the y value must also be negative, because it falls in the third quadrant. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that at all times when you're given the statement together with the diagram, you are able to interpret all of that. Good people, a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, please make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. Massively important, guys. So I think we can now start with question 3.1. But before we do that, guys, I've got a very nice strategy of which I think is going to work for all of us. So just so that I'm able to notice who was late for the lesson, what I'm going to do, somewhere in the middle of my lesson, where I feel like is the right point, I'm just going to give you guys a code. Every time when I say write down the code, just make sure to write it. So next time I'll just give it to you. I'll just choose any number between 0 to 10. For today's lesson, I'm choosing 5. So what does it mean, guys? It means um, if you write it down, it means in case, let's say we are on question 3.3 and you ask a question which I already explained either on the previous question or when I was interpreting the given diagram. I'm going to ask you, what is the code for today? If you say the code is 5, then I know you were not late for the lesson. But if I say, what is the code, and you don't know what is the code, then it means you were late for the lesson. And if your question it's a bit complicated to explain, or it will take us back, I'm just going to make sure that we just put your question aside and advise you to catch up on the lesson. Why would I do that, guys? It's because I just want to make sure that we don't do one and the same thing over and over and over and over again, because it drags other learners. Remember, guys, some of you guys are writing either tomorrow, next week, you've got some assignments to write or whatever, could be homework. So we do not want to unnecessarily spend much of our time on something that was already explained. So I won't be that much strict on you guys. So by the manner in which the question is asked, I am going to be able to detect if you were late for the lesson or not. So this is just to encourage you guys to attend on time. So guys, can we agree on that, to say we can apply this code thing?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
100%. So I think it's going to help also those of you who are punctual, who are never late for the lesson. So good people, let's now try our very first question and see if we can win. Remember, guys, it's question number 3 that we are dealing with for today's lesson. And most importantly, make sure to follow the numbering system used in the question paper. So this question is allocated 2 marks. You already know that for a question which is allocated 2 marks, it is not that much complicated. Good people, they say, calculate the gradient of BC. So this is what I'm going to do, guys, because the question said the gradient. Gradient is the cream of the question. So I'm just going to say M, which represents the gradient of what? BC. Then I'm just going to write BC is equals to Y2. Let me also do this just to show that I'm at advanced level. I know B comes first, C comes first. So I'm just going to say Y of point C minus Y of point B divided by X of C minus X of B. Then I'm going to substitute. Do I have both of those values? BC 100%. So let's substitute. Y2 in brackets is -3 minus what is YB? It's 5. All of that divided by X of C is 0 minus what is it? It's -6 in this case. So I'm just going to punch. Can someone just assist me with an answer to that question? I think that
4/3, sir.
yes, it should be positive 4/3. So remember, guys, I've always been telling you that for all the lines radiating or crossing what is it? Quadrant number 1 and quadrant number 3. They have positive gradients. So that means all the lines that when produced, can you see how nice the math is? We just have those 2 points, and we've learned today that when we say a line is being produced or extended, it means it actually continues until it cuts one of the axes. So if we produce AD, that means is going to extend up to there, which means it passes through or it extends up to quadrant 1 and 3. Therefore, it's going to have a positive gradient. So that means these two lines have got positive gradients. Then let's see, what about this line and that one? Also, if you produce that one, it crosses the, it actually, let's see, BC, yes, it's still passing through Q1 and Q3. Let's see, what about this one? If you produce this one, it's going to extend, then it's still passing through. So it seems like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and also that one, they've got positive gradients. It's only this one which has got a negative gradient because it passes through quadrant number 2 and quadrant number 4. So we have a negative gradient over there. I hope that makes perfect sense, guys. So this question, it's allocated how many marks? I think, it's 2 marks. So obviously, guys, for correct substitution, I'm going to give you a mark, and again for correct formula, for correct final answer, I'm also giving you a mark over there. Guys, are you all happy with that calculation? Did it make sense to everyone?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
M of BC of BC is equals to 4/3. Let's just write it there, guys, because I know somewhere I'm going to need it, because as I write at the same time, I'm still removing somewhere something. So, guys, is there someone who wants to guess what is the gradient of AD
It's
and give a
4/3.
reason?
4/3 because they are parallel.
4/3, sir, because it's parallel.
100%. So that means AD is also 4/3.
because they're parallel.
Reason to that is because they are parallel. So, guys, thanks very much for that response. You were straight to the point. So just make sure that also, guys, in upcoming questions, you give a forward straight answer. I think I'm going to be a little bit tough on you when it comes to this one, because in the workplace, guys, especially yes, in the workplace, also at varsity, it's either you'll be doing your reports or responding and everything. I want you guys to be you know I want your communication to be effective, so that in the future, whether you represent your company or whatever, whether you want to be a journalist or whatever, you become factual. So just make sure that every time, guys, I'll give an example. If I can say 2 plus 2 is equals 2, then I say, here comes a question, guys. Then I'm asking, who is in Limpopo right now? Someone, I'm telling you, is going to say 5. Why? Because they saw me writing 2 plus 3 and already they are thinking about 5. But my question was not, what is 2 plus 3? My question was, who is in Limpopo? So that's what I mean when I say, at all times, guys, listen to the questions. Just make sure that whenever you speak, it's either you are just commenting, you are suggesting, you are asking a question, or you are answering a question. It doesn't matter how long you take to respond, but just make sure that when a question is asked, when you respond, you answer the question. I'm telling you, guys, for those of you who want to be future journalists, you will stand a very good chance of being recognized by big companies because of how you articulate yourself, because of how well spoken you are. So it doesn't matter if your English is coming out of out from your nose or whatever, guys. But if you are factual, you are considered to be a very valuable individual in the industry of journalism. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's now try to move to 3.2, where the question says, determine the equation of AD. Let's see, where is AD? So these are the questions that you should be asking yourself, guys. There is AD. So to me, it seems a little bit tricky, but I just want to quickly show you guys what you do when things are getting tough. Because they said determine an equation of AD. I know AD is a line, and they say an equation. What type of a line is this? Is it a parabola? Is it a straight line? Is it a hyperbola? Is it an exponential? It's a straight line. Because it's a straight line, I'm going to write the straight line formula. Very, very much important, guys. So let's see. I know very well that if I'm determining an equation of a straight line, this is what I need. Firstly, I need to be having 2 points. Why would I need to have 2 points? Is because I will need to calculate the gradient. If I don't have 2 points, then it means I must have 1 point and a gradient and gradient. So here comes the question, guys. In this case, between this and that, what do we have and what can we use to answer the question?
Sir, we have
Uh,
1 point.
who's speaking?
Tumelo.
Who? Tulo.
Tumelo, sir.
Oh yes. I just remembered something, guys. Just like Tumelo has said, every time if it's your first time, especially in this case where I asked a specific question, not that question where maybe I'm saying, are you able to see, did you all understand? But in this case where you are about to give a response, just make sure to say, Tumelo from Limpopo, Tumelo from, just mention the province, Tumelo from KZN, or Tumelo in Pumalanga, Tumelo in whatever, just so that I've got an idea of who is who and where geographically are they. So Tumelo, you can now continue. Just remember to mention your province, name and province. It's enough.
It's Tumelo from Gauteng, sir.
Okay.
So in question 3.2, we have 1 point and 1 gradient and a gradient.
But how do we have the gradient? Because they did not give us the gradient, Tumelo.
Say in the statement, they did mention that AD is parallel to BC. So
Oh yes. Oh yes. 100%. So, Shreyas, can you see how examiner can be tricky? They don't give you the gradient of that line AD, but they know that they told you to say line BC is parallel to line AD, and the first question you calculated the gradient of BC. So that means, because you attend my lessons, you should be aware that this line is parallel to that line, and again, that means they've got equal gradients. So that means you have y is equals to 4 over 3x plus c at, then you can use 1 point along that, and that point you can use point A. You can't use D because D you don't have the coordinates over there. So at A, which is -2 and 2. Why do you need this point? Is because you want to calculate the C value. So you just substitute, you know this is x, this is 1. So that means you have 2, which is equals to 4 over 3 -2 plus C. Very, very much important, ladies. Remember, guys, in this case, you can say 2 minus the whole of this thing, which is 4 over 3 into negative 2. Then you say it's equals to C. So this is positive, it changed, it's now negative. Or otherwise, before you transpose, you can just multiply that by that, then you have negative 8, then you transpose it as a positive number. So there are multiple ways in which you can mathematically solve a problem or solve for the unknown, of which the unknown in this case is C. So let me just give you that second option. So it's more like you have 2, which is equals to that times that, it's negative 8 over 3 plus C. So when you transpose, it's more like you have 2 plus 8 over 3, which is equals to C. So that's what I meant. So I'm just going to remove this portion and now solve for the C value. So what is the C value, guys? So remember, it doesn't matter whether you write C on this side and the number on this side, or you just swap those, because it makes no difference whether you say water is liquid. Even if you say liquid is water, is the same thing. So what is this, guys? Let me see. Let me just punch
14
that.
14
over 3, sir.
Someone is saying C is equals to 14 over 3. Let's see. Is there someone who can explain exactly where can we notice that 14 over 3? Or where is that 14 over 3, guys? For those of you who are at advanced level. Okay, assuming that maybe you might need an explanation on that one, it's fine. Let's write. Someone wanted to say something, you can go for it. But in the meantime, let me just write the equation of line AD. Remember, guys, for you to calculate the C value, it's not you answering the question. The question said an equation of AD. So an equation of AD is therefore Y is equals to, what is the gradient? Is therefore 4 over 3x plus 14 over 3. So this is an equation for that straight line. So did that make sense to everyone, guys? Before I
Yes,
mark
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you are most likely to get your 3 marks, guys. So obviously, for you to notice that this is 4 over 3, we can give you a mark for that. And again, I think for you to substitute that into the equation, we also give you a mark over there. But for you to solve for the C value, it's not allocated a mark. You get your last mark on your final answer. So that means, guys, you need to be able to determine an equation of a straight line. So I think we have done lessons where I was teaching functions. But one thing for sure, because this chapter is allocated most of the marks in mathematics, we might have to revisit this in my winter school. So guys, in case if you are interested in my winter school, just make sure to send me an inbox. So all of you, those who know that you are my lessons, definitely sure you will form part of my winter school at no additional cost. So that means I'm trying. I think I'm just not sure if also this year we are going to have what is it, the winter school, but I wish we could have one where we just focus on those questions which are allocated most of the marks, like functions, I think sequence and series, I think again even trigonometry is allocated. So we just focus on those chapters which are allocated most of the marks in mathematics. We just focus on 50% of the question paper for mathematics and physical sciences. So I'm mostly interested in physics. Chemistry, it's not really that much difficult. So the reason why I'm reluctant to do chemistry is because the chemistry in grade 10, 11, and 12, I think there's a huge difference in terms of the content. So but when you get to grade 12, physics is way much easier than in grade 10 and 11. So I know if we can make sure that with physics we get high marks, then with chemistry, with whatever information you got from your class, you should be enough. I mean, it should be enough to boost you. So sometime towards the end of the year, if we finish physics, then we can now try to do some of those difficult parts in chemistry. But chemistry, it will only be for grade 12. So let's see. I think we can now move to 3 point. So remember, guys, based on the response that I'm getting, or the response that I'll be getting for winter schools. So winter schools, it is most likely, normally it's for grade 11 and 12 learners. And again, it's in a separate group. So that means in this group for those 2 weeks or whatever time, I'll only be doing grade 10 lessons in this group. Then on the other group, it will be the stuff, whatever. But otherwise, I think I'll give you some more info in the middle of the month. For now, just be aware that there might be a winter school. So let's see. Determine, being question 3.3, determine the value of t. Let's see. The moment they say determine the value of t, I need to look on my diagram exactly where is t. I think there is t. But what is t, guys? T, it's a point where the x value is unknown and they call it t, and the y value is 0. So obviously it has to be that point over there. And this question is allocated 2 marks. Guys, is there someone who wants to guess or give it a try in terms of how can we find the coordinates or the value of t? So the question actually says the value. So that means in the end you must say t is equals to whatever, and you don't need to say t being whatever. So this is what we call the coordinates, and this is going to be the value of t. So guys, anyone who wants to give it a try, remember to mention wherever you are in this world. Guys, no idea. Remember, in case if you've got no idea, you can just comment you say no idea, just so that I know the message has been delivered. Because sometimes I do wait thinking that the message is still sending. So you might find that you got the message, but you've got no idea. Just make sure to comment. No need to mention your name and province. In that case, you can just unmute, say no idea, then mute.
idea, so
I got one who said no idea. Okay, no problem. So I'm just going to show you exactly how you can approach that one. So remember, guys, that point N, it lies along a D. So it's more like you've got a straight line where you've got a point being A and that one being D. So you have the x-axis and you have the y-axis over there. So you have this point where it's being called N, and you know the function of that is, what was it, guys? Was it y is equals to 4 over 3x plus what was this one, guys?
14
Was
over,
it 17
14 over
17
3.
over 4
14
or
over
14
3.
over 3? Okay. Thanks, honorable member. You say it was 14 over 3. Remember, guys, I forgot to explain to you what that 14 over 3 means or where it is. So if you produce or extend that line, let's say maybe I do it like that with a dotted line. So that means this straight line, this is a straight line, guys. This straight line, it actually cuts the y-axis at that point there where y is 14 over 3. Let me see in a form of a decimal. 14 divided by 3 is 4.6. So it's more like that point there, it's 4.6. So remember, guys, I said with regards to a straight line, the gradient, M represents the gradient, which actually refers to the direction maybe in which a straight line it is facing. It could be like that, if it's a positive gradient like that, if it's a negative gradient, if maybe it's a steeper gradient, then it's like that, or whatever the case may be. Then this value, it only talks about the vertical shift. So originally straight lines were drawn from the origin, but sometimes they can shift it by 4.6 upwards because it's a positive there. So it's going to shift 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So that is why that straight line of this gradient is cutting that y there. If maybe it was, let's say, -3 there, then it means from the origin they went -1, -2, -3. Then that line of this gradient, it was going to pass through there. So that's what I wanted someone to explain in terms of what is that 14 over 3 and how is it being represented on the graph. We said this one, we know we have t and have 0. So always, guys, if they want you to give the coordinates of a certain point which lies along a certain line, if you know the grade of, if you know the equation of that line, then you use the equation to solve for the unknown. For example, if I knew the equation of that line, let's say it was y is equals to 2x maybe -3. So can you see already it's going to be -3 because it was shifted downwards by 3 units. So that means if maybe I had one point, let's say somewhere there, and they said that point, maybe the x value is 4 and then the y value is unknown. Let's say if it's unknown and they call it I see k minus attended and they call it k. So that means you use this point to substitute there and solve for the unknown. You just need to know that 4 represents x and then k is actually y. So it's more like where you see y, you substitute k, which means it was going to be k is equals to 2 into 4, then you say -3, then it's equals to, then that times that is equals to 6, 6 times that is 3, then that means k is 3. And of course,
Sir,
k has to be a positive value because, yeah, boo.
where did you say the 4 comma k came from?
Okay, so in this case, LB, I'm just giving an example to say, let's say they said along that line, we have a point somewhere there, and that point, it has this coordinate. So it's just an example, this one. So I just got that for, let's say from my ancestors, AB, LB. Does it make sense now?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
100%. So, guys, or even yourself, LB, give it a try. I want you to get it wrong so that you can help us to extend
I
our
think I got the
explanation
answer, sir.
for this one. So
Say
I
the value of t.
wanted you. Oh yes. What LB? Where are you in this world?
Oh, it's Anita speaking. Sorry.
Sir,
Wait. Two people are speaking. I see Anita is speaking, but before you, Anita, or was it Anita all along who was speaking?
no, it was
Who was
LB.
speaking? LB, where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Limpopo.
Oh, okay. Go for it. Afterwards, I'll give Anita a chance. I noticed Anita wanted to say something. So, what is the, or maybe just tell me, what is the value of T? You said you got T. What is the value of T?
It was Anita that said that she had the answer, not me.
Oh, okay. Anita, go for it.
It's -7/2.
You are saying T is equals to -7/2. Can you maybe explain? But remember to tell us where are you?
I'm in Western Cape.
Okay.
Um,
Take us through that one, Anita.
I used that equation that y is
Mm-hmm.
equal to 4/3x plus 14/3.
Mm-hmm.
And I took those coordinates that t and 0. It's t and 0, right? Yeah.
Is T, yes.
Yeah, so I on the y coordinate I placed that 0,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the x
Mm-hmm.
that t.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not negative.
Wait.
And then
Okay. Anita, are you still there? Because I wanted you to tell, but it's fine. You can just hold it there, Anita. You are on the right track. So maybe let me take it from there. But before I do that, I know we might be having our grade 10 learners. I know Shreyas is in grade 10, but where's Ferdinand? I'm not sure if Ferdinand has attended. But otherwise, if he's in the lesson, he will make a comment. Shreyas is there. Do we have another grade 10? Shreyas, this stuff or what we have done up to this point, does it make sense to you? And do we have another grade 10 learner in here?
Yes, so it does make sense, sir.
Okay, another grade 10 learner, are you there? Okay, guys, so in this case, what Anita has done, because we know that point there we've got x and y, then we use an equation of that straight line to solve for t. So because LB, you asked a question with regards to that example, do you now have an idea of how to go about that one, this question?
Kind of.
Okay, so let me then continue with this one. So, now that you have substituted, you just solve for the unknown, which is t. So you transpose, you've got -14/3, which is equals to 4/3t. Then you can just divide by 14/3 so that it cancels. Whatever you do, you also do on the other side. So you can just punch all of this on a calculator. Whatever that you get is equals to t. Here comes the question, guys. For t, are we expecting a positive or a negative value?
A negative
Expecting
value.
a negative
A
since it is
negative
on the
value.
third quadrant.
Wait, since it falls in which quadrant?
Wait, so why don't we take the 4/3t to the other side? Isn't it easier like that?
Someone is asking a question. What is the question?
It's Albie. I was like, why don't we take the 4/3t to the other side and then take the other one to the other side? Therefore, t
Okay.
can like remain on its own.
Oh, wait. So tell me what to write. I want to make sure that I fully understand. Tell me what to write. Let's consider that being option B.
See, I'm not sure. It might be wrong.
Mm-hmm. No. It's fine. I'm sure it's going to help us to expand our explanation. Just say exactly what you said. It's fine.
Okay, 4/3t is equals to negative 14/3.
4/3t is equals to negative 14/3. Mm-hmm.
Then we divide both sides by 4/3.
Oh, no. I understand. No, it doesn't matter whether you do it this way or you do it this way. It's still fine. It's the same thing. What did I do? Isn't this? No, this is the same LP. This and this is the same thing. It's only that here I'm saying water is equals to liquid, and here you are saying liquid is equals to water. So it's the same thing. Can you see?
Yes,
Because
sir.
obviously, from what you are saying, you also divide by 3/4. Then you also divide by 4/3. By 4/3 it cancels. Then you punch all of that. What are you getting, guys? What is t? What is t?
Negative 7/3.
Negative 7/3.
Negative 7/3. Very, very much important, guys. So it is a negative number as expected, but it's not falling in any quadrant because it's along the x-axis. So this is how you score yourself 2 marks, guys. So I think for correct substitution into the formula and for your final answer, that's how you score yourself 2 marks. So let's just write somewhere there the coordinates. Let me just write it in a form of coordinates to say n is actually negative 7/3, and then that one is what is it? It's 0. So let me also write an equation there to say we know the equation of line AD is equals to what is it? You guys said is 4/3x plus 14/3. Okay, this is a question that comes from my mind, guys. Is there someone who wants to guess what could possibly be the equation of BC? Whatever that you say, you can also explain why you are saying so. Remember, in case if you've got no idea and you got the message, make sure to comment.
No idea, sir.
No idea. Okay, so this is how you do it, guys. I've asked a question to say what could possibly be the gradient of BC. So if it came as a question, this is the first thing that you do. Because you know BC is a straight line. Write this thing, guys. Y is equals to mx plus c. This is the general equation of that line. What do you know about that line? You know very well that the gradient is 4 over 3. That means you have y, which is equals to 4 over 3x plus c. What did I say about c, guys? I said c refers to the vertical shift of a straight line. So that means initially, this is a Cartesian plane. Initially, this thing, guys, an equation of a straight line, initially, this is where it is coming from, which means it is actually crossing right there on the origin. So crossing there at the origin. So they extended that formula to say plus c. Why plus c? Because this line can move up and down. So if that c is being moved maybe by 2 units upwards, then it means it's the same line at the same gradient but being moved 1, 2 upwards. So that means there it was going to be positive 2. Then now this BC, it means it has been moved from the origin by so many units downwards. What are those units, guys? For BC. So BC has been moved 3 units downwards. So that means they moved 1, 2, 3. So this is where that line of BC is. So this is that negative 3, which means the equation of a straight line BC, it looks like that. So you can still use these 2 points. Obviously, to calculate the gradient, this is what you are going to get. You can use any point. This is what you are going to get. I'm not sure if you guys understood that part. Did it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just make sure that you are aware that questions may be asked in different ways. So for you to fully understand this chapter, guys, you must have watched that lesson where I was doing introduction. And again, you must have done a lesson where I was teaching you the functions, because if you understand the functions, guys, I'm telling you, 3 years, you will be in a better position next year to understand these things better. In matric, you'll be excelling because we are starting you guys in grade 10 with the basics of the functions. So that is the reason why I'm saying mathematics is it's mathematics. So just make sure that if you're in grade 12 and I'm doing a grade 10 lesson, you still attend, because those are the basics, guys. So it's more like we've got a very beautiful, so the foundation is grade 10, and what is it, brickwork of a house is grade 11. Then matric is the roof. So you can still have your brickwork and the roof beautiful, but if your foundation is shaky, come heavy rains, your house is going to fall. So you just need to make sure that you have stronger foundations. So let's now move to question 3.4, which says calculate the length of AN. Let's see, guys. Obviously, we know A, we know N. So this is easy, guys. Is the distance of AN, or the length of AN. This is the formula. Remember, you must know it by heart. Minus that square minus that square. So let's substitute, guys. What are we having? We already know the coordinates of N, so maybe let's take N as our second point, which means we're going to have it's negative 7 over 2 minus x2 there, it's a, it's -2. Can you see, guys? You need to be very careful here because you're substituting some stuff which has got some negatives. Y2 is 0 minus y1 is that. What is this, guys? Is there someone who has punched all of that? Let's see. Square root of -7/2
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes. Go for it, honorable member.
It's Kamogelo from Northwest.
Kamogelo from where?
Northwest.
Okay, go for it, Kamogelo.
Say, on our previous question, I think we found TS -7/3, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, what did you say, Kamogelo? What are you saying?
I'm saying on our previous
Yes.
question, we found TS -7/3.
Yes, -7/3. Kamogelo, thanks very, very much. Thanks very
Pleasure is
much
all
for
mine,
that, Mr. K man.
Pleasure is
So,
all mine.
Kamogelo, you're breaking. What did you say, K man?
Pardon?
I heard you were saying something, but you were breaking. I just wanted to confirm that all that you said is all that you wanted to say. But otherwise, I wanted to say thanks very much for noticing that. So remember, guys, in case if you notice a mistake, just make sure to immediately interrupt me when you notice I've made something incorrectly, if I've done something wrong or whatever. So thanks very much, Cayman. So guys, what are we having there?
29, sir.
Say again, what are we having there?
29.
29, sir.
Oh, 29. So that means 29 units. It's exactly what we are having. Cayman, in which grade are you?
I'm in grade 11, sir.
Oh, you're in grade 11.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 29. So so that means that the distance from there up to there is actually 29 units. So this question was allocated 2 marks, obviously for correct substitution and for correct formula, correct final answer. That's how you score yourself 2 marks. So this one, it was an easy one, guys. I'm 100% sure that everyone got it correct. So can you see the danger of rewriting something incorrectly, guys? You end up getting wrong calculations. So just make sure that when you write down the information, you substitute correctly. So they say, if DC, where is DC? There is DC. If DC is defined by y is equals to 3/8 x minus 3, determine the coordinates of D. What an interesting question, guys. They want you to determine an equation of D. That's if we assume DC, that equation of that straight line to be that. Anyone who wants to give it a try, guys?
No idea, sir.
No idea, sir.
No idea. Okay, so this is how you do it, good people. At all times, just make sure that if you have a Cartesian plane, Shreyas, you've got a Cartesian plane, you have a straight line, which is called G, and you have a parabola as an example. Then you have maybe a point there. You also have a point there. So let's say this is point A, this is point B. So with regards to point A and point B, this is the point of intersection of the two functions. If I know the formula for that function and I know the formula for that function, then it means where they intersect, they are actually equal in terms of the x and the y value, in terms of the x and the y value. So if that straight line is called Desmond and that parabola is called, let's say, Cayman, so that means at point A and B, these two lines intersect, which means at those 2 points, the coordinates, or maybe not necessarily the coordinates, but at the point of intersection, the two graphs are equal. So by equal, it means you can equate the equation for that line named Desmond equals to an equation of that line named Cayman. So that means if we know an equation of that line and an equation of that line, at that point, that's where those two equations are equal. So let's see. Based on what I've just explained now, I just want to check if you guys will understand this. Remember, they say DC is defined by that equation. I also know that DA is defined by y is equals to 4 over 3x plus 14 over 3. So that means at this point, this is where these two lines are equal. So it's only that it forms that type of a shape. They've got DA and we have C. But remember, it's a straight line which can still extend, or otherwise if it doesn't extend and it ends there, you just know that at that point, that's where that and that intersect. So for that reason, it means the y value for that line and for this line, which is that y value there, is the same. And again, that x value there is the same. So that is the reason why, if it's the same, I'm going to say this is my equation number 1, this is my equation number 2. Then you solve simultaneously. So can you see, guys? This y is the same as that y, which means this is the same as that. How is it the same? You just equate to say 3 over 8x minus 3, it's equals to 4 over 3 plus 14 over 3. So quickly, guys, I want to challenge you on this one. Can you guys try to solve for the x value? But before we do that, did you all understand how did I end up equating those two? Did it make sense to everyone? Guys, are you still there? Did that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
100%. So I'm just going to give you exactly 1 minute to work it out, and I'm going to ask you in terms of what the possible answer is. So just make sure that you work it out.
Go on. Ning ma. Ning. Ya na mapompo tse ke di khala mehla ke ya sekolong.
Guys, it's time up. Anyone who's got an answer to my question in terms of what is the x value there?
So I think the x value is -8.
She says it's -8. Okay. The other one, what answer did you get?
So
-8.
-8.
-8.
Wait. Negative. What answer did you guys get?
I also got -8.
-8, -8. Okay. So it seems like most of you guys are getting -8. So let me quickly confirm. So that means you took the x to one side. Mapanzula one side. Let's see. That. Then you take that to the left. It changes the sign. You've got that. What does that song say? Maluleka one side. So this is where you apply that song, guys. Maluleka one side, Chavalala one side. Let's see, negative. No. 14/3. Who else one side, guys? Baloi one side. Let's see, Baloi
Negative.
plus 3.
-6.
Then what is this one? Which one is -6? Is it this one here? Let me see, guys.
X is -8 and then Y is -6.
This is what I'm getting, guys. Wait. I'm getting 23/3. There, what am I getting? Is 3/8 minus 4/3. I'm getting 23/24. X being a negative value, then that means x is equals to the whole of that is 23/3. Then I divide it by -23/24. I'm getting -8, guys. So that means all of you who got -8, it is correct. And this question, it was allocated 4 marks. So you just know that if you got -8 already, you've secured a mark over there. And again, I'm sure for correct or for correctly substituting,
So how
I
did
mean
you get
those
the -8?
equating. Let me see. Okay, so here is just a matter of calculation. Let's see. I think I'm going to remove. Okay, let me remove all of this. So remember, you have y equal to that, which is on this side. So you have 3/8 minus 3 is equals to 4/3x plus 14/3. Sure, yes, you remember, I've always been saying in mathematics, when you solve, you always want to have the letters on the left and you want to equate them to the numbers. So let's take all the letters to the left, the numbers to the right. So let's see here, how many bananas do we have? We have 3/4 bananas. So let's just write it on this side. Let's move that one because we want all the bananas to be on the left. So remember, you have to change it a sign because you are now exposing. Let's see, on the numbers already here, we have 14/3. So let's also move that one. So Chabalala one side, Baloi one side. Let's see. What is all of this? So you have 3/4 bananas minus 4/3 bananas. Let's see, what are we having there? 3/4 bananas minus 4/3 bananas. So that means we have -23/4. 24 bananas is equals to, let's see, 14 over 3 plus 3, and this is 23 over 3. Then obviously, for you to solve or to calculate x, you need to cancel that. So you divide by exactly that which is negative 23 over that, just so that it cancels. Whatever you do, you also do on the other side. So you have negative 23 over 24. Then when you punch all of this, what are you getting? Whatever that you get, that means x is equals to that. So let me just get my lighting in the meantime while you calculate, and let me know. All of you guys who did not get negative 8 initially, try to punch all of that and check what answer are you getting.
-8, sir.
-8, sir.
-8. So that one who asked how we got -8, does it make sense now? Are you happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now we can move to the next question. So obviously, this is question 3.6. This question is allocated a lot of marks, guys. 19 marks, it's a lot. So they say prove that ABCD is a parallelogram. So prove that ABCD is a parallelogram. Is a parallelogram. So how can we prove that a particular shape is a parallelogram, guys? I've sent an image in the group which shows how we identify a parallelogram, but let me just give it to you to just give a suggestion on that one. How can we approach this type of a problem, guys?
No idea, sir.
But wait. Before we even do that, guys, can you guys notice that we did not actually answer the previous question? Am I the one who's noticing that?
Oh,
I
yeah, the Y value.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, we did not. We did not. Somebody say, yo, wait. Can you guys see the danger of not
I told
completing
you
what we have
about
started?
x, it's -6.
So we're not going to. Sorry, say again.
It's 6,
I
teacher.
got -8.
Okay. Let's see. Remember, guys, we said x is equals to -8. So after you get -8, that means the x value we know is -8, but we need to
And why
calculate
it's
y.
-6? Why it's -6?
Anita.
That's Anita
So
speaking, yeah.
it's fine, Anita. I'll explain. You're probably speaking, but you forgot to unmute your mic. So remember, guys, after you got your x value being negative 6, you substitute this in any equation that you like. So if you use this equation, you must get the same answer as you use the other equation for a DC. For now, let's just use that equation. So that means you're going to say y is equals to 4 over 3. In brackets, you substitute negative 6. Then you say plus 14 over 3. So when you punch all of this, what are you guys doing? Is it true that you're also getting negative 6? Let's see.
So aren't you supposed to use negative 8?
Oh, yes. Who's speaking? LB, yes. Negative 8. So let's see. Negative 8 close plus 14 over 3. I'm getting negative 6,
Negative
guys.
6.
Are you also
Negative
getting?
6.
Yes. So can you see? You then say D is equals to negative 8, negative 6. And it makes sense because D is in third quadrant where we know x is negative and also that is negative. And again, what I like about this chapter is that we expected a negative value, which is a let's say we expected a value which is less than the value at n. So if t was negative 3, we expected something negative bigger than 3. Also there, in terms of the y value. So that means if we got our
So
y value being, let's say, negative 2 or 1, yeah, boo.
wait, it's always speaking. I literally substituted exactly like that, but I'm getting a negative 11.
Negative 11. But remember, you have to have 4 over 3 open brackets punch that plus don't use this divided by when it comes to that one, because a calculator will follow BODMAS. So you guys need to be having a calculator similar to this one, which
It
has
was.
got a fraction button.
Oh, I thought it
So
was 2. It's 4 over 3.
yeah, so it's 4 over 3. So this is how we solve for that question, guys. So I'm glad you guys noticed that, and we are all on the same page. So where were we, guys? I think we had to prove that a B C D is a parallelogram, and I remember I had someone saying they've got no idea. But remember, guys, for a for a sorry for a line or for something to be a parallelogram, that means in this case the gradient of AB must be equals to the gradient of ABCD. Then in that way, we are going to say this is a parallelogram. Why? Because already we know these two lines are parallel. And if those two lines are also parallel, then we know this is a parallelogram. So does it make sense in terms of how you can prove that? Because obviously you will calculate the gradient of AB and also calculate the gradient of what is it?
CD.
CD. Yes, and expect to find the same answer. But you don't need to perform a lot of calculations, guys. Can you see? We already know the gradient of AD. Wait, do we know the gradient of DC of this line?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
we didn't calculate it.
Remember, if we know the gradient of DC, then we must know if we know an equation of DC, then we must know the gradient of DC. So we don't necessarily need to calculate it, guys. do we not have the equation of DC? I think we have, guys. I
Yeah,
think we have. We do, isn't it? What is it?
it's 3 over 8x minus 3.
3 over 8x minus 3. So can you see, what is this thing, guys?
It's a gradient.
It's a gradient of which line?
DC.
Of DC is 3 over 8, which means you just need to calculate that gradient and check if you get 3 over 8. If you get 3 over 8, then it means these two lines are parallel. Therefore, you can conclude to say ABCD is a parallelogram. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes,
quickly try to calculate. Y2 there is 5 minus 2
It's
over 6 minus into negative 2. So I've substituted those two. Let's see. This minus this is 3. This that is positive 6 plus that is 8 over 8. Therefore, you can say, therefore, A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. Make sense, guys?
yes, sir.
Good
Sir.
people,
yes.
this is not the only way. I want to expose you guys to all possible ways in which you can prove. Remember, guys, for a line to be a parallelogram, it means AD must be equals to BC. So in short, the length of AD must be equals to the length of BC, or otherwise in terms of the distance. So in that way, you are able to prove that this is a parallelogram. So I'm not sure if that also makes sense, guys.
Wait, what did you say?
So I was saying for us to prove if a diagram is a parallelogram, two opposite sides must be equal, which means we can calculate the distance maybe of DC and also the distance of AC. So if these two lines are equal, it means it's a parallelogram. Otherwise, you can prove by calculating that distance and that distance. That means if the distance is equal, this is a parallelogram. I'm not sure if it now makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Good people, that is not the only way. So, again, if a line is a parallelogram, that's if this midpoint is the same for that line and that line. I'm not sure if that makes sense, guys. So let me just remove all of this and explain so that you are aware. I think it's worth it for you to know all of these methods because it all depends on the information that you are given. So when we have a parallelogram, it means if this side is equals to that side, if we can prove by the distance formula, to say this is equals to that or this side is equals to that, then you can make a conclusion to say it is a parallelogram. Secondly, if you can prove that this gradient or the gradient of that line is equals to the gradient of that line, or the gradient of that line is equals to the gradient of that line, then you can prove, or you can conclude to say this is a parallelogram. And again, which is the last part, you can prove by using the midpoint formula, x whatever plus over 2, y plus that over 2, which means for a parallelogram, you must be having this interior line connecting those, and also this line. At that point, when you use this point and that point to calculate that midpoint, you must get the same value when you use this point and that point. I'm not sure if it now makes sense, guys.
Makes sense.
It
Yes,
makes
sir, it
sense.
does make sense.
100%. So, guys, can you see? We don't have to do a lot of question papers. We just do one, but in that one question paper, we make sure to discuss all important stuff. So, just make sure that if you miss a lesson, you catch up, because we might just do 2 question papers, but in those, we learn a lot. So that is the reason why I'm saying I prepare for these lessons, because I don't just take any question paper. I choose that question paper that I know it has a lot of you know, ka speed ya ba le matringwane a mantši. Serious matringwane is tricks. So in this question paper, we've got too many tricks, of which with those tricks we are able to explore some more. So let's now move to question 7.3. So calculate the coordinates of M. So M obviously is the midpoint. So in this case, guys, you've got multiple choice. You can use these 2 coordinates to calculate the midpoint. Others, let's use these 2 coordinates to calculate the midpoint. So as the gens, let's use D, let's say BD to calculate the midpoint. Ladies, use AC to calculate the midpoint. So we just want to check if we are indeed going to find the same answers. If we do, then indeed this is a parallelogram, and again we have answered the question. So guys, I khatlampa. So
Already
whenever
got
who Anita got an answer. Anita, what are you getting?
-1 and the -1/2. X is -1 and then y is -1/2.
Negative half. Okay, so let's wait for someone to confirm your answer. And again, gents,
Sir, it's
perform
Renelo
that
here. I
calculation.
also got the same.
Reneilwe uphuma kuphi? Limpopo, I'm guessing.
I'm actually from Gauteng, Pretoria.
Oh, okay. Ko wena bo wa itse, o betha bo wa itse ka mo.
Yeah.
Okay, so another one to confirm if you got the same answer. Gents, are we winning there?
Yes,
Wait, so which points are we supposed to use?
So the ladies are using, I think it's AC. Yeah, it should be AC. The
I
gents,
use
let's try.
AC.
B, C, and C, what are we getting there? Machans, are we winning there?
Yes, sir, we're winning, sir.
But no. Machans,
Yes, sir.
Cayman, what are we getting there? Because I'm still waiting for an answer from the chance.
I'm still trying to solve this.
Oh, so Samika Mikan Liliona Kamo.
Still
Physically
trying,
busy
sir.
guy, honestly.
Let me see. Shreyas, are you winning there?
Yes, sir.
Tise Tomadigiza. Are we winning there? Let me see.
Yes, sir.
Minentle, you haven't said anything since the beginning of this lesson. Are you good over there? Tumelo Jadifa, Renee Lubisi, let's
Sir.
see. Yebo.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I got the answer. It's -1 and
Is it
-1/2.
okay? Sisipho Mbandezela, Zandile, Grace Makito, Lorraine Tsaba. Are you guys okay there?
I'm fine.
Okay, Machans, are we getting the same answer? Because I'm getting a different answer, guys. I think they are wrong. I'm just not sure. What are you guys getting there, Machans?
I'm still looking on it, sir.
No.
I think they're multiplying all of it. Start with 1 and second one.
No. Machans, what are you guys doing there?
I think they're multiplying all of it. Like both of them in like the same bracket.
Can I ask something?
Okay, so could you please tell me why the reason why you got -1? Because like on my other side I got -7. Let me see. Let me just confirm.
-7. Hi.
You see,
Haibo.
they're adding the
Haibo.
brackets now.
No. Don't give them a clue. Who is it? LB. Don't give them a clue. I'm still enjoying to be surprised today. Curious. What are you getting there?
Sir?
What are you getting there?
So for x1 plus x2 over 2, I'm getting +7. And for y1 plus y2 over 2, I'm getting 11/2.
So here you're getting 11/2 there. What are you getting there?
+7.
+7. Sure. Nah. Who's next? Tisezo.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Are you guys sure you are in the right class? Ladies, make sure to mute your mic. We are having a men's conference here. So just watch through the windows. Machans. Near. Tisezo.
Yes, sir.
No. I'll disappoint my chance. Near.
What
Kgothatanya.
coordinates are they using?
Whoever who's doing Africans in this class, how do I say these guys are disappointing me in Africans? Okay. Or maybe it's the issue of these coordinates. I'm not sure. Guys, what are the coordinates of D?
Sir, I think it's because of the formula. You wrote x1 plus y2.
I said x1 plus. No, this is x. Come on, my chance. No.
Sir,
Because
sir, it looks like
no,
y.
They should know that.
no. Serious,
I think
did you
that's why they're
take this as
getting the
y?
wrong answers.
My chance, did you take this as y?
Probably the reason.
Sir.
Isn't it the coordinates of D is negative? For X is -8, then for Y is -6.
Let's see. This is -8. This is -6. Okay. But wait, Shreyas, what were you taking that as?
Says x, x2.
Oh yes. Let me see. This is. But why? But no. Near. Guys, how do I say these guys are disappointing me in Africans, guys? Yellow is near. Okay, so let's see. What is x1? X1 is a -8 plus, what is x2? You can take it as that one being 6 divided by 2. What about y? So we can take
Get
-6 as our
-1.
y, then what? 5 as that divided by 2. So that means, what is this thing, guys? This
Sir, it's
is
-1.
-2 divided by that, then it's -1. What is this thing, guys? This is -1, which means we have -1 over
-1 over 2.
2. Guys, this is how you score yourself. How many marks? I think it's allocated. It's just 3 marks. It's not a lot of marks, guys. So I think there, for correct substitution, I'm going to give you a mark. And also for your final answer, I'm going to give you a mark. Good people, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. I just wanted to have a feedback from your side as we conclude, because I think this was our last lesson on analytical geometry. We might revisit this chapter as part of revision towards the end of the year, just to prepare for your exams. But otherwise, generally, are you guys happy before I close today's lesson? Are you happy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We are
sir.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Hey.
Ek is spelle gesteld.
Is it someone who was failing to get -1 and -1 over 2? Who's saying what? Who was it?
Oh, before you close,
Sir, when are we
before you close.
Ish.
My chance,
And the
I'm
ultimate
disappointed.
end.
But
Can you say that as we conclude, just conclude this lesson by saying, or is there someone who wanted to say something before?
I just want to
Honorable
ask
member.
something before you close.
Yes, Anita.
From which grade is this question from?
So this is grade 11, 2018. I'm just not sure. Let me just quickly check if it's November or this is November 2018. So that means what? No, I wanted to know in Afrikaans, what do I say when I say this chance disappointed me? how do I say it? So,
Say you
Cayman.
just say you say ekeskert.
Sir,
I say
Ka
ek is
Setswana re re o
wait.
kegile.
Just at the head, say.
Say, why
I
don't you say ke khurugile?
why do I not take I? Yele gale disappoint me gale van der what Kubas and yes.
If you don't get
Guys,
it, forget about it.
sir, you
So
must
if you
say
don't
it
get
sir.
is
it,